Bahamians. On Friday, the 6th of June 2014, Bahamians from all walks of life will celebrate another Labor Day in our beloved Bahamas. This year's festivities mark the second celebration of the Randall Fox Labor Day, during which we as a people will recognize and pay tribute to the father of the labor movement in the modern Bahamas. Recently, executive officers and affiliates of the National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress came together in a week of activities designed to recognize and celebrate a number of past and present trade union leaders for years of dedicated and unselfish service to the trade union movement in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. These men and women are considered heroes in national development, and they are a testament to the work of the NCTUB and the CBTUC in our society. Over the past 12 months, this government has expanded the dialogue with our social partners and held regular and consistent meetings with both umbrella organizations, as well as meetings with individual trade unions and employer organizations. Continuous dialogue with social partners is a fundamental principle of the PLP government and supported by the International Labour Organization Convention 198. My fellow Bahamians, I'm extremely pleased that the National Tripartite Council Bill, which is being debated during the second reading in the House of Assembly, is now at committee stage and only awaiting final recommendation on the amendments from the social partners before it is passed and sent to the upper chamber. The delay in the passage of this historic piece of legislation was necessary as all stakeholders agreed to invite the comments of the Director General of the International Labour Organization to ensure that the bill was consistent with international standards and best practices. These comments are now being analyzed by the social partners, and after consultation with the Office of the Attorney General, the third reading and passage, the bill will become the law of the land. I'm also pleased to announce that the first informal meeting of the National Tripartite Council was held on Thursday, the 29th of May 2014, and I am told that it was extremely productive and successful, resulting in the achievement of another milestone in our national development. Our government also recently debated and passed the Industrial Relations Validation of Trade Unions Amendment Bill 2014. This critical and significant bill was necessary to safeguard the well-being of thousands of Bahamian workers who would have been adversely affected by the involuntary dissolution of their respective trade unions, as it ensured that the trade unions are compliant with the statute laws of the Bahamas. As workers from far and near prepare to participate in one unified Labor Day parade on Friday, 6th of June 2014, this PLP government remains committed to amending legislation and establishing policies to protect the rights of Bahamian workers and putting Bahamians first. On Wednesday, the 28th of May 2014, the government tabled for the first reading an amendment to the Health and Safety at Work Act. This amendment is designed to work in tandem with the health and safety regulations, and when passed, will give the inspectors from the OSHA unit within the Labor Department more teeth for monitoring and enforcing regulations, thereby ensuring safety in the workplace. My fellow Bahamians, it is envisioned that the National Tripartite Council will in the very near future submit recommendations to the government to amend the Industrial Relations Act 1970 and the Employment Act 2001. These amendments will propose increases in the statutory redundancy and severance entitlements, clarification on the definition of a lunch break, overtime entitlement, and minimum time limits for employers to enter into good faith negotiations with recognized bargaining units. I'm also pleased to announce that I've invited our social partners to consider amendments to submit recommendations to the government for an increase in the national minimum wage before the end of this year. It is my hope that the much-needed increase in the minimum wage will contribute to the further economic development of Bahamian workers. Additionally, as the Minister of Labour and National Insurance, I fully support the establishment of a national redundancy fund from which Bahamian workers who are made redundant by dishonest employers or by employers who are unable to make redundancy payments will be able to access their statutory entitlements without delay. My fellow Bahamians, the struggle of the trade union movement in the Bahamas has been closely tied to the fight for the advancement of our Bahamian people. In fact, it was the trade union movement that paved the way and was at the forefront of the nation building in the Bahamas. From as early as 1942, the working men and women were instrumental in helping to shape the arguments for equality and justice for all Bahamians. As we celebrate another Labor Day in our great country, we must be mindful that many societies around the world cannot celebrate or enjoy the rights and privileges that Bahamian workers have. So many of our sisters and brothers on the planet we call home live and work in fear and do not enjoy similar rights and freedoms as those enshrined in our Constitution. As the Minister of Labor and a trade unionist at heart, I am very proud to be associated with the labor movement and the fight for freedom, equality, and justice in our great Bahama land. It is with deep regret, therefore, that I will not be able to participate in the annual Labor Day parade due to the fact that I am scheduled to lead the tripartite Bahamian delegation to the 103rd session of the International Labour Conference in Geneva, Switzerland from the 31st of May to the 5th of June. The delegation comprises government officials, representatives of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, the National Congress of Trade Unions, Bahamas, and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress. We will address critical issues impacting the workers of our country and the region. Finally, on behalf of the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, the Right Honourable Perry Gladstone Christie, the entire government and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, I extend to each of you a happy Labor Day. My prayers is that each of you will continue to enjoy celebrations of another Labor Day in peace and love. And let us all work together to make this nation, the greatest country in the world. God bless the trade union movement, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.